Welcome to the Voices of Future Generations Children's Story Building webinar. I said it. Well done, Ms. Shama. My name is Shama Noman, and I'm the English Project Manager for the Voices of Future Generations writing competition. Okay, so today's thinking question is, why is it important to know yourself? Why is it important to know yourself? Well, that's a question you'll have to think through the webinar, and maybe you'll come up with an answer at the end. Okay, so keep this question in mind. Why is it important to know yourself? All right, a unique voice. Before I even begin my presentation, I need to know how many of you understand what do we mean by a unique voice. So does unique mean similar or same? Does it mean distinct or special? Or does it mean forgotten or lost? What does the word unique mean to you? It can mean a lot of things, to be honest, but out of the options that have been given to you, what do you think it means? Yes, a unique voice means a very distinct or a very special kind of voice. Remember, your voice can be distinct also if it's different, if it's unlike, if it's kind of weird. I mean, weird is a very negative kind of, gives you a negative connotation to it. But honestly speaking, quirkiness and weirdness can also make your voice very unique. The first slide that I'm going to put up says, what is your voice in writing? So there are different examples that have been shared here, okay? It is very individual, which means it sounds like you. Now, how do I explain that? Well, just imagine that you're in the classroom with your friends and having a great laugh, and suddenly the principal enters the room. You will notice that suddenly your tone of voice, the way you speak, the choice of words, everything becomes a little different. Maybe it becomes a little formal. Well, when we talk about you sounding like you, it is not a formal voice. When you change your voice to meet somebody, when you change your voice and sound like somebody else, then that's not you. Your unique voice that sounds like you is the one that comes through when you're with your friends, when you're with your family, when you're with somebody that you're really comfortable with. So that is your unique voice. I'm sure you're all aware of who Malala Yousafzai is. She is the youngest Nobel Peace Prize holder to begin with. She's a girl who is championing the cause of girls' education across the globe. And, she started at a very young age. Now, when Malala speaks, everybody wants to listen to her. People go to TED Talks and download her talks to listen to her. People feel inspired by the books she writes. What do you think gives power to Malala's voice? What makes it so different and unique? Yes, Malala Yousafzai's voice is very unique because she writes and speaks with a purpose. And that's what I'm trying to also teach you, that when your voice becomes meaningful, when it holds a purpose, people listen to it and it gets its distinct, special quality. When you begin writing in this competition, you need to think about who you are, what do you care about, and what are some things that are going to help you through? Okay, what are some of your skills and talents which are going to help you through? Ask yourself, who am I? What do I care about most? Who are my audiences? What do I want to convey to my audiences? Am I ready to take on responsibility for my voice? And do I respect my quirkiness and my weirdness? Do not be ashamed of how different your voice is, because guess what? You didn't even have to work at making a unique voice or developing a unique voice. You just have a unique voice. So a unique voice can appear quirky or different. If, for example, you're a blunt person, you say things as they are, you say it like it is. People might feel a little difficult being around you, but then that's how your voice is unique. It's very distinct. You might be intimidating in your voice. Means when you come up, you're so confident, you throw things around, you do things well, people might tend to get intimidated by you. So there can be so many things that make your voice different, yet you can use them to your advantage to write a brilliant story. Here are some helpful tips in how to develop or strengthen your voice. Okay, all the tips I'm going to share now is after you've understood your voice and what you care about, now you want to strengthen it. So what are some of the activities you can do to strengthen your voice? Reading aloud. Now, this basically means you have to trust your voice, okay? When you start writing, the mistake that you can make is that you start editing as you write. If you start editing as you write, you are interrupting the flow of your natural voice. You need to sit down and write the whole story before you can actually begin to review or edit it. Don't get me wrong, reviewing and editing is the key to getting a good story together. However, it should not be your first step. Your first step should be just writing uninterrupted, putting down all your thoughts on paper, and then going back and reading out loud. So have a friend sit in front of you, have an honest friend sit in front of you, and even listen to yourself because you're the most important critique in your story writing. Read aloud the story that you've written and then tell yourself, are you happy with it? Did it sound like you? If it doesn't sound like you, if it sounded like you were trying to please somebody, you had something else in your mind and you created a story which truly was to, make someone happy, then it will not sound like you. And you can always go back, review it, and put down your unique voice into it. Listen to yourself. This is something you need to do when you're having an emotional breakdown, okay? Listen to yourself when you are feeling angry, when you're excited, when you're anxious, frustrated, shocked, whatever emotion that you're going through, it's going to bring out your unique voice. However you express yourself at that crucial moment is what is going to teach you about your unique voice. So listen to yourself a little more from now onwards, okay? And it's a great idea. If you're excited, ask your friends, what do I do when I'm angry? And your friends will tell you what you do. And then you can jot that down into your journal and keep it as, a point of reference when you're writing your story. Invite a friend and record a conversation. Now, this is another fantastic way of getting to understand your voice. You can have a conversation with your best friend about sharing the different passions that both of you have. So you might have a passion for writing and she might have a passion for gardening. And both of you sit down and record your conversation for 10 or 15 minutes without focusing on the recording, but really having a flow of conversation. That's why we talk to our friends, because they generate flow of conversation. And then later, after you've finished, listen to that recording, jot down the important words that come up in your conversation, and also observe how your friend reacts to your comments or reacts to your statements as you speak with her. Keep a diary or a journal. This is again important. This is something that you've probably heard many times, that even your teachers must be encouraging you when you're writing, is to keep a diary or a journal. Why a diary and journal becomes specific to a unique voice is because when you write your diary, it's very personal. You're like literally talking to yourself, right? You're literally talking to yourself, or you're talking to a diary. And that means that you're sharing your innermost thoughts. You are being the most truthful at that point of time. And your unique voice has this quality. People who have a unique voice have this quality, that they say it like it is. They are honest, they are truthful, and they don't write lies. So if you're going to write about something that you don't believe in, that you think is wrong, that you think is not the right thing that you want to stand up for, then you will observe that your writing will not hold the same conviction, it will not hold the same power, and your choice of words will be weak. You will not be able to express yourself really well. So make sure that you say it like it is and you're honest to yourself. And that can come through diary writing, where you get to express your innermost and most honest feelings. Strengthening your voice in writing. Join a group, take a class, or attend a workshop, something that you're doing right now. Always understand that sharing your work is going to make you confident about your writing. Be courageous to find out what is lacking in your writing. Hey, there's nobody is perfect. We all, like, if I do something, when I create this presentation, I want to go through it 100 times. I want to show it to different people. I want them to tell me, what is it that I can improve to make the experience better? So it's the same for you. There is no age for this. Like, it's not that I'm this old, so I don't need anybody to read my stories. No, I need everybody to read my stories because feedback makes me better. So be courageous and make review a habit. Because when somebody gives you a feedback, you want to go back and reflect and think about it. Okay? If somebody's being nasty and not constructive about your work, then you don't need to really listen to them. You listen to constructive criticism, which is all about wanting to improve your quality of writing and wanting to support you through the writing process. So this is one of the most important things, okay? So yes, share your work. If you finish writing your story, it would be a good idea to share it with your teacher or show it to somebody who's interested in reading, because people who read a lot are going to give you really good feedback on what you've written, okay? Why is it important to know yourself? Now, I've shared a lot of ideas with you. You have shared a lot of ideas with me. Now, I'm going to put up this final question for you, and I want you to answer this question for me. Why is it important to know yourself? Well, thank you very much for being with us on this through this webinar. Next week, we are going to talk about how to write a harmoniously blended story. So the theme of our story writing competition is going to be discussed next week. You don't want to miss this, please. This is where we talk about the SDGs, or the Sustainable Development Goals, and we also talk about your rights. Thank you very much. See you. Bye.